Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. I'm Candy at Local Tbilisi, and we have brought Baia from Red Fedora Diary to join us today. Hi, Baia. It's nice to see you. We are going to be talking about some of the cultural traditions around the holidays here in Georgia. I was here personally last year, and it was really exciting to see some of the unique and interesting things that they do around the holiday season. So, Baia does blogging at Red Fedora Diary. You can find her on Instagram and on Facebook. She also does some journalism articles for other companies. You're welcome to tell us a little bit more about that, Baia,
Yes.
but yeah, so we will be recorded today. You're welcome to turn your video screens on or off. I will ask that you keep yourself muted unless you are called on to answer a question or something of that sort. If you have questions, you can type them anytime into the chat box and we will answer them as we see them and as we're able to get those questions answered. So without any more logisticals, I think we're going to turn it over to you, Baia. And I want to just thank you so much for joining us today and taking your time out of your day and the time that it took to put this all together for us. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you for inviting me. I was really excited for the actual physical live event, but I'm also excited to do this over the Zoom. So as Candy already told you, I'm Baia, if you don't know me. I'm a local here, born and raised in Tbilisi. I do travel writing and journalism for other publications, small companies in the field of tourism and hospitality. And I blog about my travels on my own website that is called Red Fedora Diary. So today, as the festivities of New Year and Christmas is coming up, we will be talking about Georgian holidays. And I'm not like from a very traditional family, but we do follow some of the traditions. And I will be covering some that we do as a family, and I've heard my friends, they do as their own family. So without further ado, let's talk about firstly about the history of Georgian Christmas and New Year's, because we have it a bit different. We do have 2 New Year's Eve, and I will be explaining why. So today, as most of the world uses Gregorian calendar implemented in almost late 16th century by Pope Gregory the 13th. Until that, we use Julian calendar proposed by Julius Caesar. So Eastern Orthodox Church still uses Julian calendar to celebrate various occasions, including Christmas and New Year. And as Georgia is an Orthodox Christian country, we do follow Julian calendar to celebrate some of the dates. So we usually don't celebrate the 25th of December as the rest of the world does. And the celebration does depend on a person and a family. Some do celebrate it, but some doesn't. But most of my friends, families, and acquaintances that I know of, they don't. So our Christmas falls on a different date, and I will come up to it a bit later. So if we don't celebrate Christmas on the 25th of November, our most important celebration comes on the December 21st, on actual New Year's Eve. Don't ask me why we do have it in reverse, but we do. So every region in Georgia has its own traditions. When it comes to Tbilisi, it's a melting pot, and it's a mixture of every tradition, and depending on a family and their background and from which region they come from. If you have trouble hearing me or if I freeze, please let me know in the chat box. So I stop and wait for it or something like that. Anyways, yeah, so how does the December 21st looks like? It's a bit chaotic because everyone does everything last minute. They run errands last minute, and it looks like the scene of a Home Alone movie where everyone runs like chaotic around the house. At least it was like in my family. Like we would do everything last minute. I don't know why, but even we would put like Christmas tree on the day of the New Year's Eve. We would start in the morning. My mom would prepare the meal for late evening, and everything was very chaotic. My dad would run for in the shop to buy the shoti bread or I don't know, something that we forgot for a day or for the dinner. In terms of decorations, everyone does it differently. So some of my friends start from the beginning of December, some of do in the middle of December. But as I said, we would do on the 21st in the morning. But as we grew up and we were very tired of doing everything last minute, we moved the Christmas decorations the day before. So when everything is ready, baked and prepared, the family sits around the table, supra, in the evening, very late in the evening. It would be around like 10:30, 11, to have like a proper dinner. Thus, no one congratulates each other with New Year or Happy New Year until the officially New Year arrives on the 12 a.m. on January the 1st. So sparkling wine is popped open at the clock when the clock strikes midnight. And the tradition is to be with your family at that time frame. And then youngsters go out and celebrate the New Year elsewhere with their friends, or pre-Corona time, it would be going to the bars or clubs and dancing it out till the dawn or something. Yeah, I'm just looking at the notes so I don't like forget anything. So as I said, we do the decorations, and we do have like a normal Christmas tree, the green one, but we also have our own Georgian Christmas tree. And I'll share a small slideshow for you to understand what I'm talking about. Just let me. So this is our Georgian traditional Christmas tree called Chichilaki. It comes from Western Georgia. And we put it alongside the green one. And we decorate it either with sweets or candies, or leave it as it is. It's made from the dried hazelnut tree, and the branch is shaved until it gets these curly strings that resembles a coniferous tree. We have it next to the usual Christmas tree, or sometimes just on the shelf or somewhere. It's a must-have in Georgia. After the decorations, let's talk about the essentials of the New Year supra. Every family does same things. They do additional dishes, but these four is the staple. Satsivi is originally it's a turkey stew in walnut sauce, but some do chicken. Like, for example, my family, we don't We don't eat turkey as much, and we prefer chicken, so we swapped turkey for chicken. As some of you probably know, pali is a variation of various vegetables in walnut paste. Then it comes to the roasted whole piglet with ajika sauce. The ajika is a red chili sauce, very spicy, that comes from a Western region. And it's rubbed on the skin of the piglet, and it's either oven roasted, or the best and tastiest one is roasted in the tone clay oven where the tone bread is baked. And of course, khachapuri, like none of the Georgian sopra is without khachapuri. Apart from these Georgian staples, we do have remnants of the Soviet Union or Russian cuisine. One of them is Russian salad that we call olivier. It's a simple vegetable salad with mayonnaise, nothing special about it. My family does not do it anymore because we were like really fed up with olivier, because every family you go to in Georgia has the same meal. So every time you visit a family during the festivities, they have olivier, they have satsivi, they have pali. So everything is same. So we decided to spice things up and do something different once in a while. Then it's holodets. It's a Russian aspic dish made from beef or pork broth. It's a cold appetizer. I don't even know because I really don't like it. I tried it once, but yeah, no, not my thing. And it goes well with the horseradish sauce. Yeah, that's the main supra essentials. And we also have sweets. Some of you know churchala already, but cozinare is especially made for New Year's festivities. It's caramelized walnuts in honey. I mean, we love walnuts, and during this time of the year, it's an overdose of walnuts. Everything is in walnut paste or sauce. So even the dessert that we have is with walnuts. Usually the cozinare is either soft or very hard. My family does very hard one. I don't know why, but my father usually does it, and he boils honey for quite a long time, so it gets like more caramelized. And when it's colder, it gets more like more stronger, and it's like a break of plank of wood or something. So yeah, and we also have like dried fruits and dried fruit leather, and some candies or other fruits not dried on the separate table for the guests or kids to nibble on during the day. One thing that we also have different is that if the rest of the world has a Santa Claus, we do have our own Santa Claus, but it's called Tovlis Babua in Georgian. It translates like snow grandpa or grandpa of the snow. Children believe that the snow grandpa lives in the mountains, and he comes with presents similar like Santa Claus. And Tovlis Babua is considered to be from Svaneti region, the most remote mountainous area of the country. And that's why he's wearing a burqa, felt coat, Svanetian hat, and saddlebag full of presents. It's a mythical character that has an appearance of a human being. And usually when you go outside for the Christmas markets, you could see Santa Claus and Tovlis Babua next to each other, because we we do believe, or kids do believe, in both. That's it for the slideshow. So let me get back to my. Do you have any questions meanwhile, before I get to my notes?
I love this so far. Some of the food looks amazing. Where would one actually purchase a suckling pig?
Usually you buy the whole pig in the bazaar
Okay.
and take it to somewhere who can roast it. That's how we usually do it. My father would find a person who would do it in the clay oven of the Tone bakery.
Okay. So like in all the neighborhoods, you've got somebody that has the tone. Would most of them perhaps do the roast pig for you?
Yes.
Okay.
And you pay. I mean, it's worth asking.
Yeah.
Some of them may not do anymore, but I mean, it's a staple. Some of them, like most of the families, still do the whole piglet thing, and most of the bakeries or Tone bakeries can roast it for you.
Okay, we
And
are
sometimes if you
totally
have
going to have one of those where I live. So if you don't live here yet, maybe you should. I am so doing that. That sounds amazing.
Sometimes if the piglet would be smaller, that we could fit it in our oven, we would do it too ourselves. So depends on your like house layout or kitchen facilities that you have. But yeah, there are some services or some bakeries that do the roasting.
I have one more question on what you
It's quite tasty. Yeah,
I
sure.
bet. The Father Christmas, the Grandpa Christmas that you guys believe in.
Yeah.
Is it the same as like our Santa Claus, and that they deliver gifts and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's same thing. Just we have a different, but he has a different appearance and a different story. It's
Okay.
not from the North Pole, but it's from Svanet.
That's north enough, right?
Yeah. But it's the same thing. Like presents are delivered by the Tovlis Babuas, similar like Santa Claus. Everything is same. I think it comes from also from like Russian or Slavic Ded Moroz, similar character. So every country has something similar to Santa Claus, and this is ours.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you for answering.
Okay, no problem. And any questions, I would be happy to answer anytime. So as we covered the supra, the decorations, and the Georgian Santa Claus, we can move on the next day, January 1st. Is the official day of New Year and an official holiday as well. So no one's working. On this day, we usually either spend coming out of hangover or spending time with families, visiting relatives, having fun with friends. I mean, depends what you do. And it also is a time when we follow a superstitious habit called Megbele. Megbele is a person who comes to your home. He or she is a first guest after the New Year's Eve. So the person, to be a proper Megbele, should not be in the house when New Year's arrived on the 12 p.m. So, 12 a.m. So he is a person who a family in the past chose deliberately. So a family who thought would want like a upcoming year to be successful, full of happiness, full of positive emotions would invite a person who connotes those characters to be their first guest after the New Year's arrived. So the person who comes, who is a McFly in your home, should step inside the house with the right foot and shower you with candy, because we believe sweets are, I don't know, have a connection of happiness and prosperity and being like youthful for the rest of the year or life. The funny thing is that my mom believed that those characters, my brother carried those characters, and she would force him outside for him to be the first person to step in the house after the New Year's would come. And poor guy was freezing outside near the door, waiting for the New Year to come in, and he would like enter the house. But sometimes he would do that, but sometimes it would be someone else from our family or from our friend circle or anyone. But nowadays the customs have changed, and a lot of people don't like put much thought of it. It's just, I mean, they don't choose a person deliberately, like whoever comes, and that's it. And as a side note, during these festive days, it's always a good idea to carry candies in your pockets, because it's customary to exchange the candies when we meet friends or acquaintances randomly in the street, or when we like accidentally go to someone else's place without having a plan, and we should have something like to give to the host family. And candies and sweets is, if you're deliberately going during these times, it's better to bring like a bigger box of sweets or candies with you during these days. So the moving on to the next day, we have yeah.
At what point would we start to see people exchanging candies, like on the street or coming to your home?
Yeah, it's when we meet people in the streets, like randomly when you're walking and you see like a person that you know, you say like, "Oh, Happy New Year," and then you exchange the candy.
So that starts after the New Year?
After the New Year, yes. After the New Year.
So
even
from
yeah,
the
even
first.
at the from the first, even like after we leave the house to celebrate it somewhere else, we would bring like candies. It's usually like a pockets full of candies, so you have you at least have one candy for each person you meet during the festivities here.
Okay, I think I misunderstood that last year. And
Yeah.
I like around after Thanksgiving, which is our traditional when we start to celebrate Christmas, I started handing out candies to people, and they kind of looked at me like I was an idiot. And now I get it. Now I understand why.
Yeah, it's after the New Year officially arrives.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Okay. So moving on January 2nd, it's another official holiday, and we dedicate this day to faith, because we Georgians are huge believers of faith, and we believe that whatever is written in the stars will happen to you. So this day is called Bedoba. It's nothing special in terms of like traditions or like dinners or something. It's a day when you do something for yourself. It's because it's believed that however a person spends this particular day reflects and impacts the whole year. So everyone makes a special day out of it, and plans activities whatever suits their needs or wishes. It would be like spending time with your very close friends, or going for shopping, or I don't know, doing something that pleases you, so that you want that the whole year to look like that particular day, full of joy, full of happiness, full of people that you love. And one of my friends would usually go to the airport and spend like 10, 20 minutes there to have the full year ahead of travels. So this is something like fun. I love that day. I think I love more than New Year's Eve, because I don't know, it's fun thing to do something special every year, and to surround yourself with very special people or very special occasions. So now we're moving on to Christmas, actual Christmas Day. So as we celebrate New Year and Christmas, according to the Julian calendar, our traditional Christmas falls on January the 7th. The day is official holiday. So from the January 2nd until January 7th, we have working days. And then on the January 7th, we also have an official holiday for one day. And on this day, in the morning, there is a traditional Christmas march or parade called Alilo. That starts from the First Republic Square near the Radisson Blue Hotel, and all the way towards the Holy Trinity Cathedral. Thousands of people participate in the march, where they wear special robe and carry crosses and icons. They also collect sweets, food, and other things that later is donated to people in need. And anyone can attend the march. If you're interested, it starts early in the morning. Yeah, I've seen the local is doing, they had the event for the march. So if you're interested, I think I'll join the procession as well this year. So in terms of family dinner for the Christmas, it depends on the family. Sometimes for some families like mine, it also means baking a special khachapuri, a different type of khachapuri that comes from Guria region, because my father is from Guria. And the special khachapuri is called guruli pie, and calls for it's like a calzone shaped pie, and it has a filling of boiled egg and cheese. It's so yummy. It's better than khachapuri, trust me. So on the January 7th, my family bakes tons of guruli pies, and we have like friends over, like eating the pies the whole evening. Well, accompanied with other traditional Georgian meals, but like the highlight of the evening is the pie. What else for the what I wanted to say? Yeah, so basically the Christmas is it. Like, it's not as special as the New Year's Eve, but it's something very cozy and very family oriented. But in my house, it's usually like quite, it's like a party, a huge supra with plenty of pies and plenty of drinks, of course. And yeah, that's the January 7th.
I want to see if we can get one of those special pies from your family. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, some of the bakeries do bake like throughout the year, they do have, I think Kenya also has one, like they bake kuruli pie like all year as like such similar to hachapuri, like you can order it, but it has a special meaning for that region, for especially for the January the 7th.
Okay.
So we'd never bake the pie unless it's January the 7th. I mean, my family. So you might think that we're done with celebrations because we came to Christmas, but we're not. We have one more day to go, which is an Old New Year on January the 14th. We love celebrating everything. We love having fun and drinking and eating and having fun with friends. So according to the Julian calendar, the real New Year falls on the January 14th. But as we already celebrate the New Year on the December 31st, we call the January 14th the Old New Year. It's not an official holiday, and the traditions do remain the same, but it's not very serious as on December 31st. It's still family time, still fireworks, but it also is the end of this 2-week celebration of the New Year festivities that we drag until the January 14th. And in terms of decorations, we after the 14th, we slowly take them down. The decorations should be there until the Old New Year passes. And but it should be also put down before the January 14th, which is another like church holiday. So everything should be put down before the January 19th. And Chichilaki, our Georgian Christmas tree, should be burned in the fire because it is considered a tree of luck, and burning is a symbolic expression of letting the troubles and misfortunes of the previous year stay in the past and don't be continued for the new year, for the new upcoming year. So this was basically everything that I wanted to say. If you have other questions or comments or something else, if you found any traditions very odd or weird, I'd like to know.
Everyone feel free to unmute yourself and throw your videos on. We can certainly
or if something was unclear and I didn't say something clearly, please let me know and I will try to explain it into much more detail.
Yeah, we can certainly have a small discussion about what Baia has shared with us today. Also, if you have any other questions or want to share, I don't know, a unique Christmas holiday experience from your own culture.
I would love to know. I would love to know, like the weird or not weird and interesting traditions from your countries too.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the upcoming holidays. Hopefully, we'll still be able to enjoy them in small groups. We here at Local, we definitely had some big plans for celebrating the holidays, which are certainly going to be changed up a little bit due to the lockdown and whatnot. But hopefully we can all still engage in some ways and get together and share some of these experiences. I'm curious, does anybody know what they're gonna do for Badoba? I
like the idea of my friends who would go to the airport and do the like think that it would impact on her year to be full of travel.
Yeah,
I never did that. I really like the idea and I never did that, but maybe this year we can go at least closer to the airport.
maybe we should all go to the airport so that everybody gets to travel in the new year.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
But I'm not sure. Like, I never have a plan though. Like, I do spontaneous things. Like, usually I would meet with my girlfriends and have like small day with them or spend some time with them and then do something else. And I don't know. It always changes, but I never plan though.
I love it. I love it. It's so exciting to be in Georgia around the holidays. And I noticed just the other day that they're starting already to put the lights up
Yes.
along the
Yeah.
streets. Do you know, Baya, is there an official like lighting day where they will light all of those?
I think there is, but I don't remember.
Okay.
But
Well,
I know that they are turning it off. I think on the January 13th or 12th. I mean, it always depends, like whatever the city hall decides. So from the last year, I remember that I wanted to take photos of the lights during the night. I remember it was either 13th of January or 12th of January, even to like to turn them off and then slowly put them down. But I'm not sure about the lighting up. I
okay.
think it would be after the 25th or maybe like before 25th. So because we do have like Catholics here too who do celebrate on the 25th. So maybe for them it would be like before, but I have to check.
Okay. If you happen to find out, let me know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
can.
sure.
That'd be an interesting thing to know because the lights, I remember from last year, they're so beautiful when they're all lit and it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
last year it was very beautiful. Last year it was one of the beautiful ones for sure. I don't know what this year we will have. Quite interesting, but I don't think it's like a huge event of like lighting up the street lights. It's just lit up and that's it.
All right. Well,
But we usually would had I forgot to say that usually during the New Year's Eve we usually had a huge concert in the streets that this year probably we won't have, or maybe as it was for Tbilisi, but it would be broadcasted online, but none of the people would be able to attend. But it usually people would either even meet the New Year there and spend the first moments of the New Year in the street at the concert, or they would like go after the traditional dinner. So.
fabulous. Well, Baya, it doesn't look like anyone has any other questions. I want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing these traditions with us. And I'm looking forward to experiencing some of them again this year, some for the first time and some for the second time. So I'm super excited for the holiday season. And where else in the world can you go and get 2 Christmas and 2 New Years?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you're on here and you're considering coming to Tbilisi, but a little nervous about coming because it's winter time, don't be afraid. It is a little bit cool here. It's a little cold. We actually had snow, which we didn't have last year until like March, but we did have a little bit of snow and it is a little cold outside, but there's so much holiday events and activities going on. It definitely makes it worth it to be here.
Emily has a question.
Oh, sure.
Thanks, Baya. That was so interesting. Is it traditional to attend Christmas mass? Would that be on January 7th? Yes, that's January 7th in the morning. Probably after the first like church service. I'm not sure about the exact time, but probably around like 9ish. I will check the exact time if there is available. And in terms of it being a tradition, it depends. It depends on how a believer and how much a believer you are. personally, my family never attended Alila. And there are people who do attend because it's a religious, it has a religious story on the background. So, I mean, yes and no, I would say, depending on how religious you are and how traditional you are. Bound to miss the initial photos, but really interested about this. Traditions remind me of place.
The chichilaki that wasn't burnt. Oh my gosh. I burnt my chichilaki from last year on the traditional date. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh. It goes up like that.
Yeah. Because it's a very dried and it just catches the fire instantly.
Yeah. It was almost a shame because they're so beautiful. They're such a work of art.
Yeah.
They're just a gorgeous item to have in your home. So I can understand somebody wanting to hold on to them, but
but it's, I mean, it's a superstitious thing, but I mean, you can hold it, but I mean, depends how
for sure
how superstitious you are.
I don't remember at what point last year they started selling them. I'm assuming that we might start seeing them here in the next few weeks.
Yes. Yeah, mostly the Christmas decorations are already sold in most of the supermarkets and hypermarkets, but chichilakis are usually done by families, and it's like a handiwork. It's like a handmade in the family. So usually it would be later, and as there are restrictions now imposed to like intercity travel, probably most of the people who do chichilaki are from outside of Tbilisi, and it should come after the 24th, because from the 24th of December until 3rd, we have the freedom. So no regulations. So yeah, after the 24th, you could be able to purchase chichilaki. Even in the streets of Tbilisi, there would be like some selling straight in the streets. You don't have to go to bazaar, but if you go to bazaar, there would be even huge and selection of small, big, medium sizes, even like the tiny ones too.
Bye, Ariel. Thank you for joining us. I do recall.
Thank you for having me.
I do recall last year near Orbolani Square, where the flower market is.
Yeah.
They had a beautiful display of the chichilaki.
Oh yeah, it was it was from the I think one of the bank did the display of like different color chichilakis. Yeah.
They're quite beautiful. But okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you all for joining us, and Baia, you especially. Thank you for giving us your time. I did record the session. I'll put it up on our YouTube channel sometime in the next hour or two. I'll post the link for everyone so that you can get it, and look forward to celebrating some Georgian holidays with everyone. So.
Thank you for having me, and thanks everyone for joining, and I hope you learned something new today.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.